The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program hosts and guests and are not necessarily those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time for Martin County Movers and Shakers. And now, here's your host.
Hello, everyone. It is National Moving Month. Yes, it is. Very exciting. Your happy hostess with the mostest, Anna Valencia Tillery. Martin County Movers and Shakers, brought to you each and every week. Compliments of White Glove Moving and Storage, where we strive every day to make moving easy. You know, one of the initiatives we do annually each summer is to host a Treasure Coast community-wide food drive. And this week, myself and my sales team, we are happily distributing empty boxes to communities, civic groups, churches, businesses, real estate offices.
Yeah.
And asking that you take those empty boxes, fill it up with non-perishable food items, and the week of June 3rd, our team will circle back by and make sure that all of those boxes are retrieved, and we organize one large orchestrated effort to the Treasure Coast Food Bank so that the demand for the soup kitchens and food pantries that increased during the summer months when kids are out of school can easily be satisfied thanks to the community effort. And just a little goes a long way. They're small moving boxes. So as you're listening and you say, that sounds like something I can do, or I know a lot of folks in my community are getting ready to leave and they would like to be able to have a place that's easy and convenient for them to drop off the food, please don't hesitate to email me. It's Anna with 2 N's, the letter V, at whitegloveusa.net. I will add you to our distribution list. We will make sure you get the empty boxes. We'll pick up the full. It's never been so easy to participate in a food drive. Compliments of White Glove Moving and Storage, interstate agent for Beacons Van Lines. So this summer, you might know parents in your circle of influence that are ready to relocate, perhaps leaving the state of Florida or coming to the state of Florida for new job opportunities. And we would be happy to assist. It's always a free estimate. We do all the heavy lifting and as much or as little as folks need, including loading up a rented truck. A lot of young families are able-bodied. They can certainly get themselves to their destination. Yet loading a truck is like a giant game of Tetris. And our professional...
Good analogy.
It is, right? And our professional movers and packers can assure you that everything will get in and that it will safely get to its destination with you at the helm driving. So again, as much or as little, if you know anyone moving, please don't hesitate to mention White Glove Moving and Storage, as we just love being able to help bring this broadcast to you each and every week. And it really is focusing on what's going on here in our community. So what better a fit than bringing in Miss Susan Kors, the manager of the Community Redevelopment Agency, alongside her vice chair, Miss Catherine Winters, who is a real estate agent extraordinaire with Berkshire Hathaway, and the lovely lady who made this introduction happen. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Anna.
My sincere pleasure. Now, it's a bit of a mouthful, the title of Community Redevelopment Agency of Martin County. I did it all in one breath.
You did well.
And Susan, I'm hoping that as manager, you can help enlighten our listeners as to the mission and the vision of the Community Redevelopment Agency.
So a lot of people don't know what a CRA is, and we'll just go with CRA instead of saying Community Redevelopment
I like a
Agency.
good
there
acronym.
You go.
Yes.
So in Martin County, we actually have 6 of them. We have 6 areas that are designated as community redevelopment areas, and they're put together, they're very specific geographic places, and they're put together so that we look at what can we do for those smaller areas to revitalize them, to restore them, to increase their economic development, to increase their housing product. Pretty much our mission is to make them compact, walkable, sort of teeny tiny little urban centers, if you will, as urban as you'll ever get in Martin County, that is, of course. So we work collaboratively with the Board of County Commissioners, with the community, of course, very, very much with the community, and all the other departments in the county to bring them the types of projects that they've asked for. And again, very community driven. So it is the community that asks for very particular things to happen in their areas.
that speaks up and says, listen, this is where we're deficient and we see that there is a real need. Can you help us to bring that to life?
Yeah, each community actually has their own community redevelopment plan. And that's one of the things that kind of sets them apart. So the first thing that would have to happen is that we look at our areas and we say we need to get a finding of necessity, because a community redevelopment agency is guided by statute, although created by the county, not the state. So it can be created by a city or a county, really.
Okay.
6 CRA areas is quite a lot, but Martin County is special. So, we have more than most.
And it is a nice sized county.
It is a nice sized county, absolutely. So we look for that finding of necessity. And what we look for in a community are things like high vacancy rates, and that can be commercial and residential.
Okay.
We look at poor street layout. We look at maybe not very good stormwater drainage infrastructure. Lots of places in the county don't have water and sewer. So that's one of the big things that we work on here in Martin County. So we're trying to look at these smaller communities and keep the
Identify.
character.
Yeah.
Yes, keep their very specific characters and identities, and yet bring them up in that way. So once we get through with looking at the finding of necessity and we meet the criteria, then the community gets together and formulates the community redevelopment plan. So it is a full economic plan to how is that going to happen? What projects specifically are we going to do in this community that's going to revitalize and restore and increase economic development and make it that compact, walkable kind of atmosphere?
Most certainly. And Susan, that's very interesting because to highlight some of those particular areas, and I think that once we say it out loud, a lot of our listeners are going to say, yes, I could see now that connection and that correlation. So we have Jensen Beach, Hobe Sound, Golden Gate, Rio, Old Palm City, and of course, Port Salerno, where our beautiful Catherine Winters just happens to be the member of the Port Salerno Neighborhood Advisory Community, which obviously brought together this relationship that I'm looking at and our listeners are being able to enjoy.
Absolutely. The Port Salerno Neighborhood Advisory Committee is each of these designated areas has their own NAC. It is grassroots democracy in action. This is what we want our community to feel like, to look like, to as a working model. Port Salerno, for example, we're very dedicated to our heritage, which was a historic commercial fishing village. We still have working commercial fishermen at the docks.
Absolutely.
We have a working marina. We have yacht builders in the Manatee Pocket. So, our focus is our water and those employers that for this type of industry, and we don't want the county to lose sight of the fact that that's why we were created in the first place, and we wanted to maintain that flavor.
And out of curiosity, being that a lot of the projects I would assume require some sweat equity, if you will, does that then sort of have an all hands on deck mentality depending on the scope of the project for the actual NACs, the neighborhood advisory community folks? It depends on the scope of the project, I presume.
It does. We rely heavily on Susan and her department and Martin County staff. They are awesome to work with. Growth management, building department, utilities, we all become a team. Infrastructure, for example, we all work together to put a plan in place. We have a budget, we have a time frame, all of these things are approved by the county commissioners.
Okay.
So there's a definite process involved, and sometimes we feel like the wheels turn really slowly.
Right.
But once a project is finished, people get more excited and they're ready for the next one to happen.
It's interesting, Anna. A lot of people look at me when I talk about this, and then I say, let me explain to you how it works on the ground.
Yes.
So if you're just looking at this as a person saying a CRA, Jay, I've never heard of that. It starts with the neighborhood advisory committee, and that's a group of 5 to 9 citizens, and they have some criteria. They have to be a voting member in Martin County. They have to live in the area, have a business in the area, run a business in the area, meaning within that CRA, or
Okay.
live very close to it, be a property owner. So they have to have some connection to that area,
Sure.
really we feel to be able to serve it properly. So between 5 and 9 citizens come together every other month. And they look, and we go very clearly, we work with the community redevelopment plan. And it's fantastic because you already know, you have your roadmap. So the NAC members, along with the community, and Port Salina is an extremely engaged community. For example, we have a lot of them, and they, folks come to the meetings. And we look at the projects, we talk about the projects, and the NAC members really serve as kind of our ears and eyes on the ground. They let us know, what are the challenges? What are the opportunities? What are the things that's happening in the neighborhood? How do people feel about it? Who should we talk to? So they are just so important. All of their recommendations and ideas go then to the CRA board.
Okay.
So the CRA board is made up of one member of each NAC. So there's a representative from each CRA area.
Which
so
there's
one from
6.
right,
Mhm.
and then we have a 7th member who's a member at large.
Okay.
And then the CRA board kind of looks at all of it together, a little bit of a wider lens, if you will. And then they make the recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners. So the Board of County Commissioners looks at all of these projects and these opportunities and these challenges countywide and make the final decision as to what's moving forward and when and why and all of that. But by the time we get to the Board of County Commissioners, the NACs and the CRA board does such a good job that it's almost like we're just informing them of what we're going to do, because everybody is so involved, and that's the beauty of it, and that's what makes it work.
Right. I mean, there's nothing easier in a position of leadership than to be able to have trusted individuals that do all the legwork and propose items with plenty of background
Mhm.
information and proposals and the like. So it is something that is easily grasped and realized.
And they do have that countywide perspective. So
Certainly.
very often, we'll leave a county commissioner meeting with a better project, because
Isn't that exciting?
It is. That's the excitement of government. And I know Catherine said it, the wheels turn slowly, and they do,
Right.
but they turn. I think that's what we have to
Yes.
remember.
Yes.
They do turn.
Mhm.
And we feel like we're kind of like the artist preparing the canvas. We're out there doing really sexy things like infrastructure and sewer and roadways and
Yes.
parking and
but all very important
but all very
to a growing
important.
community.
Yes, and this
Mhm.
is what brings in residents. This is what brings in visitors. This is what brings in businesses. They look at this and they say, "Gee, I want to be a part of that."
Yes.
I want to be there. I can grow my business here. I can start my business here. I want to live here so my kids can play in this park and have this or that benefit. So it really is very community driven from the bottom up.
And then the staff itself for the CRA, how many people? What does that look like? What does your day look like, Susan?
Well, I have an absolutely amazing staff. I came on 2 years ago, and we are, as of yesterday, fully staffed.
Yay!
So it's been a very exciting week so far. I have 3 project managers. I have a senior project manager and 2 project managers. Each one of them has 2 areas that they focus on. And when I say focus on, I mean they get to know every curb, every street light, every street sign. They know what property you're talking about. If you say the corner of 707 and Martin Ave, they know exactly what property, who
Sure.
owns it, what's going on. And this is their job. They are
Yes.
extremely tied to those areas, and they're kind of in the field a lot, out there talking to people. They are the ones that are responsible for moving all the projects forward. And so far we're gangbusters. I mean, we're just moving really, really fast. We also have an administrative specialist, and she basically keeps us all in line,
Right.
make sure that we all know what everybody else is doing, and and she does a fantastic job, finances, she does all of that. So I think that we are now ready to move it quicker for Catherine.
That's
Yay!
right.
And Catherine, what's a project that stands out in your mind in your community?
One of our greatest achievements was the Salerno Road sewer project. So if you're driving into Port Salerno on Salerno Road, so you're going east, you'll notice that we now have some on-street parking, we have some landscaping, we have a sewer capability for those like where Getting Crabby is, the
Yeah.
little restaurants and things. So that now and Basins Seafood, they now have sewer lines and water lines, which is
Beautiful.
great. So, and that will just kind of like a spider web go out into the neighborhoods, and hopefully in the next couple of years, all of Salerno will have water hookup for their homes and for their businesses.
That's an incredible
is.
achievement
It
and
is.
very exciting. If y'all
Thank
could
you.
see her, she is beaming right now. She's like, these are the wins that help in so many facets.
Yeah.
It helps in being able to, as you had said earlier, one of the ultimate goals is to help with the economic development of it all. And if businesses can't have things that help make their businesses run easy,
Right.
they aren't as attracted to be able to
Well,
come
and
there.
it makes your property values increase as well. I mean,
Our
having
real
the
realtor extraordinaire, of
Yeah.
course.
And it brings investment. I mean, you're looking at now a central sewer line that not only is serving those businesses, but is ready to serve more residents and businesses as they come in. So if you are a resident and or a commercial entity, this is something that is going to help you and that you need. So it,
1000%.
families, right. And
Yeah.
families, we have the Sidewalks to School program.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh.
another grant, and they are creating the sidewalks from Port Salerno Elementary to Murray Middle School. So the kids aren't walking in the streets. So it's that type of enhancements to our area that really make a difference to all those families.
Oh, it sure does.
and you guys will see that sidewalk project starting this fall.
Yeah.
Well,
Wonderful.
we're kind of hoping it might be done this fall, but I don't want to put
What?
any, we're
That'd be
working on
awesome.
it over the summer. And that's a very good example of the types of things we try to do. That's an FDOT grant that we received. And that is a collaboration between the CRA, FDOT, and Public Works. Our Public Works department is just extraordinary. And they get a lot of these types of grants, and we work very, very closely with them on pretty much all our projects.
I could
So-
see the real value in that.
Yeah.
And those lines of communication are so
Yeah.
important, because if they don't necessarily want to take on the entire burden of it, you're
Right.
able to have that really be specialized by the neighborhood people themselves,
Yes.
and then bring it up
Yeah.
accordingly. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm looking at some of our notes here, and we have a lot of projects that we could share with our listeners throughout Martin County, which is really exciting. I'll let you take the lead, Susan, if
Yeah,
you like.
Oh, do that.
Oh, you want to talk about Ripple?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So one of the, like I like to say, one of the absolute sexiest things I do is drainage and and water quality. Anyway, in Old Palm City, we have a really special program. It's called the Ripple Eco Art Project. And we received 2 grants from the National Endowment for the Arts for this project. And it's a water quality project and a drainage project. So we're going to put that infrastructure in Old Palm City. As you know, Palm City is very low lying, and this will be right in the area east of the river, right there.
Okay.
So the county owns 4 parcels, and we're going to move the water from one parcel to another. And we're going to do it in a way that treats the water before it goes into the river. The outlet will be at the river. And we're also going to do it in a way that makes it a beautiful amenity for the community.
Ooh.
So we are working with an eco artist. Her name is Lucy Keshevars. And the NEA has given us so far $100,000 to do all of the planning, the design, the permitting, the construction documents. We will be a project ready to build by the end of the summer. And the eco art pieces, and I'm not going to tell you what they are because you're going to have to come and see it.
At the big unveiling.
That's right. And the Department of Environmental Protection has just given us another grant along with our ecosystems department at the county. So again, that collaboration is really what gets these things done. So we are hopeful that we will be getting additional monies from Department of Environmental Protection, and we'll be able to build the project next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
And you'll
Yeah.
be making announcements of that at the association, right?
Absolutely,
Catherine? 'Cause that is
absolutely.
so
Mhm.
exciting. And then we have in Jensen Beach.
In Jensen, I'm very, very happy to say that the water and sewer will be complete in Jensen.
Wow.
Jensen is our smallest CRA area. It's about 67 acres. Our largest is Hope Sound with a little over 1,000 acres. So you can see there's a big
Interesting.
difference.
Yeah.
Jensen also is unique. They're a little further along with redevelopment, and I think that that's probably because it's more commercial than residential. And that's a plus and a minus at the same time. Each community is so different.
Yes.
So Jensen will also be doing some parking. Jensen has a good problem. In the redevelopment field, we think of when you need parking, that's a good problem because it means
Yes,
people
I
are
could see
coming.
that. Yeah.
It means, they're interested. It means you're offering something that is different, unique, special, and the community's responding. So we're looking at doing a project on Church Street in Jensen that will increase some parking for the downtown area.
Love that idea.
Yeah. We've done a few little things here and there in Jensen, and they do have lots of parking on not on Indian River, on Pineapple. So people can always park there as well. But we're just increasing that so that it makes it easy for folks to come and take advantage of everything that's there.
Mhm.
I did want to mention a little bit about our housing initiatives. We're doing some housing projects, one with Habitat for Humanity in the Hope Sound area.
Okay.
So again, a collaboration. The county will and the CRA will go in and build the infrastructure needed to actually build a little neighborhood. So this will be water, sewer, sidewalks, roadways, lighting, the whole thing, everything that makes a neighborhood that you
Yeah.
can think of, in that way. And then Habitat comes in and builds the homes. So we hope to have a new community of about 18 homes.
And of course, that will be targeted for those that are slightly lower income, hence the Habitat collaboration,
Yes.
I would
Yes,
presume.
and
Mhm.
they work with as they work really well with their folks, and those folks do sweat equity as well.
That's
They
right.
really help to build their own homes. So interesting. That will be an interesting, fabulous project. I
And
think.
they're a huge benefactor of the Realtors Association.
Absolutely. In
in
fact, we're
addition
doing the
to-
golf outing.
Yeah,
for them.
June 6th.
Yes.
Yep. And they'll stand to gain all those proceeds, which is very exciting.
Can I mention two other quick projects?
Real quick.
Two other huge roadways everybody will be noticing very shortly, which is the Bridge Road Main Street project. And in Old Palm City, we are enhancing and redoing the streetscape on Map Road. So look out, everybody. You're going to be seeing some new surroundings.
Oh, that is really exciting. And if folks want to get involved and they want to sign up for a newsletter, Susan, what's the best way for them to do
The
that?
best thing to do is go on the Martin County website, which is martin.fl.us. Scroll down the first page. You'll see CRA. Click on that, and then it will direct you to any neighborhood you want to see, any plan you want to see, and how to get in contact with us and sign up to receive information.
That's really exciting. Catherine Winters, Berkshire Hathaway. She is our vice chair of the Community Redevelopment Agency of Martin County. Thank you so much for what
My
you
pleasure.
do and the extra efforts. And that education is so important to buyers and sellers coming into Martin County. Susan Kors, thank you so much for being here today. Remember, I'm
Thank
Anna
you, Anna.
Valencia Tillery, Vice President of White Glove Moving Storage and Delivery. If you know of somebody moving, don't hesitate to mention White Glove. Until next week, folks, check us out on Facebook. Cheers.